Great. Well, we're here with Vin from Hondo's HoloNet. A separate. Oh, sorry.
You
Let's see. How do I want to start this? Low key, It might just be easier if I just say, "Hey, welcome back to." Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna do that.
you could say that and then cut it out after. That's what I do sometimes. So
Yeah. Let's do that. All right.
whatever's easier for you.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Beyond Disney podcast. Whether you've been here before or you are listening in for the first time, welcome. Today is a very special episode as we have a special guest joining us today. Hondo's HoloNet, a channel separate that talks about all things Star Wars, maybe Disney, maybe Marvel, maybe DC, maybe a little bit of wrestling here and there. Why don't you take it over for me?
Hello, everybody. My name is Vincent from Hondo's HoloNet. Like you said, a podcast, YouTube channel that talks all things Marvel, Star Wars, DC, Disney, wrestling, and everything in between. I've been focusing on Star Wars, though. So how's everybody doing today?
Awesome. Thanks, Vin. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Disney World, as I mentioned in the last episode, as we covered Disney's Downtown Disney District. In this episode, you're basically going to get a layout of what is offered at the Disney parks, from Magic Kingdom to Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. Now, I'm not the Disney World expert, as I live on the opposite end of the country, but Vin here is the Disney World expert, as he goes multiple times, probably even more than I have. And I
Probably
just wanted
so.
to, probably so, exactly. And so this episode, we really just want to take a minute to, give you our own tips and tricks, maybe some, background information on what we like to do there. Maybe you have some fun facts, or you like to point out the hidden Mickeys when you're there. There's a lot to do at Disney World because of the design, the way that it's built and laid out. You could basically get lost there if you didn't have a map. So hopefully we can be a bit of a map or a resource for you to be able to, figure out what you're looking to do at this Disney park. And so, Vincent, my first question for you actually is, what is your favorite park at Disney World?
This is the easiest question I get. I talk about it all the time. Hollywood Studios. And not only because of Star Wars, because yes, Star Wars is fantastic and Galaxy's Edge is just my favorite, but Toy Story Land is what the deciding factor for me. I love the Imagineering and just the immersion of Toy Story Land. So yeah, like I said, easily Hollywood Studios.
Would you say that Hollywood Studios is good at keeping up to date with, current trends, current themes, especially considering Toy Story Land? Now we have Toy Story 5 coming out. Galaxy's Edge, is that correct? And I mean, it used to be the Hollywood Center, right, with the studio backlot tour, right? There was the
Yes.
what was that car one? The stunt show. Was it Stunt Show Spectacular? Is that what it was called?
It was the Epic Stunt Spectacular Lights Motor
Yes.
Action. Epic Extreme Stunt Show. It was, I can't think of the exact title, but it was the Lights Motors Action.
And that was right behind the was that right behind Rock and Roller Coaster?
No, that was behind the Muppet.
Oh,
If
it was
I'm looking
behind the
at it
Muppets.
correctly
Okay.
and thinking, it was back by the Streets of America, where around where the Honey I Shrunk the Playground, or Honey I Shrunk the Kids Playground was. So it was around
Right.
back there.
It's so cool to see like how everything's changed in the layout there. Because I mean, I went more spontaneously as growing up in a sense, because I think my first time there was in 2006. I was only 3, and then started going more frequently come 2013, and then we got to actually experience all the older rides before there was the big revamp and change to all the parks. And then what let's say I think I remember doing the Great Movie Ride. That
The
was always
best
a
the
fun
best
one.
ride.
I
Yep,
know, I miss it. That was so cool.
I do
Sometimes I
too.
watch like the ride throughs.
I watch it at
And
least
then
once every 2 months.
that is valid. That is valid. I mean, it's such a great it was a great thing to have at a Hollywood-centered park because it took, Disney iconic movies like Mary Poppins, and then other IPs from, let's say, Singing in the Rain to Indiana Jones. So there's a lot to see, and experience that even though they weren't like, Disney movies, we got to experience, going through the old movies of the day. And with the modern change, we got Mickey's Runaway Railway, right? Would it be Mickey and Minnie's, right?
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Yes, sir.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that one?
Okay. I'm a huge fan. And when I say huge, I mean fan of these Mickey shorts. Now, I still go to sleep watching them today. Like that's a normal thing. And at least once a week, I go to bed watching these Mickey shorts. So I was super stoked when I heard that the Great Movie Ride, although I loved it, was getting changed to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Now, like I said, I love the Great Movie Ride, but the one thing that I love about Railway, like above all others, it's a great ride. It's a lot of fun. I'm not sure if you've been on it yet. I'm assuming you have. Pretty sure they have one in California. But the one thing that I love is the immersion, and we'll get to Remy's Ratatouille ride in a bit. But the Remy ride is all 2D and 3D screens. You're not actually, you feel like you're there for a moment, and then the screens just take you out of it. But in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, you feel like you are following them on their adventure, and you're getting stuck in all the crazy and wacky things that they're going.
Oh, 100%. I'd agree with that. I really loved. So this is something that actually they changed in the great from the Great Movie Ride to Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway, because when you walk through the queue of the line, you'd go through basically I'd say like a museum showing a bunch of props from on display from different
Yes.
movies, that they displayed, even movies that weren't even like part of the ride. Like you could see the hollow chest table. That was something that just stood out to me all the time
Yes.
walking through, seeing the hollow chest table from the Millennium Falcon. But oddly, you'd expect that to be in the Mickey and Minnie Railway Ride, but it's not there. You don't see the iconic, Mickey memorabilia. You see some posters, but it's kind of just a normal queue as you walk through a theater. But the thing is that
Yes.
Disneyland in the queue, you walk through it and it's all these like Mickey memorabilia, funny little like uh you know, let's say like artifacts, different props that were used in the shows, quotation, actual props, not really, but they have
Yes.
those on display.
Yeah.
Like let's say Steamboat Willie's wheel, you can see that they have Mickey's Sorcerer Mickey costume from Fantasia. They have the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Toodles thing station. They have the
Oh
DJ
wow.
Mickey costume. They have a bunch of different displays of like just, oh, you're walking through a memorabilia of all things Mickey. In reality, I mean, it's not real, but like they made the prop specifically as like a fun little walkthrough for the queue. And so that's something that like I really enjoyed from the Disneyland version of the ride. But I think it's iconic enough for the Mickey and Minnie's at Hollywood Studios to be the way that it is as you're walking through the Chinese theater. It's like kind of like they've taken over it. But I don't know. I feel like they could do some light touch-ups and add a little bit of a walkthrough, kind of like that, in similarity to what they have over at Disneyland.
Okay, hearing about that, I 100% agree. Now, I know very little about Disneyland solely because I want to experience it all for the first time in person. So I try and
Oh, so I
avoid a
definitely
lot of
just spoiled
Disneyland.
for you.
That's okay. It happens. But it's cool to know because, like you
Hmm.
said, the Great Movie Ride did that a lot. Like there was, even if it wasn't like a lot of props, there was stuff that you saw walk. It felt like you're walking through a museum to get to the theater to see the little showing that they had. Eventually, get to the ride, but knowing that Disneyland is actually doing something like that for me just makes it so much fun. And I think still be fun. You could keep the posters that you have in Disney World and in the queue, but I think the props add like an extra bit of like substance to a queue because the one queue, my favorite queue, and I'm sorry I'm going off. We'll get to that too. But the Peter Pan queue at Magic Kingdom, that's my favorite queue. That and maybe Pirates of the Caribbean. But they're very immersive. This one, like you said, feels more just like a standard line, and you're not besides the posters, you don't really see much. So something like that would be great for the queue of Mickey and Minnie's.
Right, exactly. And I think it's just cool to at least have the ride there, have something to do there, so it's like I can't really complain about that.
Oh yeah,
But I would what moving on to then I kinda wanna touch on the old icons of the Hollywood studios because in recent years, Hollywood Tower of Terror has kinda become that symbol for the park, as you saw for the 50th anniversary where they had that as one of the Disney icons alongside the Great Tree of Life, the
yes,
Epcot
yes.
ball, and the Magic Kingdom Cinderella Castle. But before that, years prior, it was the Mickey's Water Tower and also the Sorcerer Mickey hat that they'd have at the center of the park. What are your thoughts on
Yes, it
those
was.
recent being taken away? Do you think that that has kind of taken away a symbol of what the park used to be, something to kind of like set it aside? Or do you think maybe having the Tower of Terror as the icon um, primarily there um, as like an important sign for the parks, I guess?
Okay, so I have mixed opinions, and I'll get into it. But when you think about the other icons, think about Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is a restaurant and a hotel for lucky winners of whatever or lucky people who they choose, right? So that has
Mhm.
something. The the Epcot ball is a ride. The excuse me, the Tree of Life is a show. Once Bugs Life, now Zootopia. I believe I loved both the water tower because that felt very studio-esque. I mean, you think of the Warner Brothers uh, studio in Los Angeles, and you think of their water tower. Same with Disney, and same with other big like that. That feels like it should be on a studio lot. And the hat. Now, I have Mickey ears actually sitting. I'm in my studio right, now, and I have Mickey ears sitting, and it's Mickey ears with the Sorcerer's Mickey hat, and I love that hat. But all it was a pin store. Now, don't get me wrong, they should not have removed either of them. I understand, I guess, from a business aspect, why it is like, unlike Cinderella's castle and the Epcot ball, the Tree of Life, which don't really block things, the hat was blocking the Chinese theater and a lot of surrounding stuff, so it felt very crowded. I still don't think that they should have taken it away because that was one of my favorite. But practically, I think Tower of Terror is a more iconic icon for the park, but that I don't think they should have taken it away because the other two felt like the park. I mean, Fantasmic is the show. I'll argue and say Fantasmic is the best show in Walt Disney World, and that hat is a prime, a prime part of Fantasmic because it's Sorcerer Mickey. So, no, they shouldn't have removed him, but I think Tower of Terror is a better icon for the park than the other two.
Thank you. Yeah, that I mean, I agree with that. I think I think it also opened up just more space in the park, especially with the
Definitely.
chain Great Movie Ride. When I remember going literally the year that Mickey and Minnie's opened, and the line for that ride kept getting even longer and longer. That they even
Yep.
extended outside where actually
Yeah.
the Mickey hat used to be. But I also remember in the evening they had a projection show on the Mickey and Minnie or on the Chinese theater. I think that was really cool because it kind of brought some form of entertainment to the Hollywood studios to, kind of attract more guests. Like they already had the entertainment, kind of like you said, with Fantasmic. They also had the and the Beast live show. They also had the stunt show
Yes.
Spectacular, or no, not the stunt show Spectacular then, but they had the Indiana Jones stunt show. And so they
Yes.
already had those stages full. Um, but I also remember that during the 50th was also around the time that COVID and the pandemic was still happening, and so they didn't bring back Phantasmic yet, but they had brought back the stunt
Yeah.
show, the Indiana Jones one. And so having that projection show actually added more to the night. As you know, you go to Hollywood Studios in, let's say, 2021, 2022, when everything is starting to reopen. I mean, all you got is the new Toy Story Land, you got the Mickey mini ride, you got maybe Tower of Terror, and then Rock and Roller Coaster, Galaxy's Edge. Like, that's still a lot, but it's not like compared to Magic Kingdom, or even, let's say, I want to say even Animal Kingdom. I feel like Animal Kingdom had more stuff open uh, than Hollywood Studios did at that time that I was last there. But I know in recent years now they've been under construction. As we know, Hollywood Studios now has two areas under construction. One wasn't really already, being used, so that's like totally fine. It doesn't even matter. But
Yeah.
the Muppets area is now under construction to bring in Monstropolis, correct? With the Monsters Inc.
Yes.
land. Um, and then the launch bay, the old Star Wars launch bay, and that little like courtyard area is being turned into the Disney animation courtyard, correct?
Yep.
Do you think that these will pull in more guests and more crowds to come and explore and see what's to offer? Or do you maybe even think that this could actually help Hollywood studios in the long run?
Yes. Short answer, yes. A little more in-depth answer. Hollywood Studios is a decently sized park, but majority of their entertainment and where the crowds are is Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land, right? You think about Hollywood Studios, and yeah, people go to Mickey and Minnie's, which is a little outside. They go see the Indiana Jones show. They go to Star Tours. They would go to Muppet Vision when that was open. And sometimes Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror were all the way out. But right now in Hollywood Studios, I know it's been a decent bit since you've been, but majority of the crowds are in both Toy Story Land and Star Wars. Now, the launch bay and the Little Mermaid show, which I haven't seen the new show. I wanted to. I was just there in August. I didn't get to, but I want to. And the Disney Junior show, they're fun things, but they don't attract crowds. So in this big lot that's taking up a lot of space with nobody there is a waste of space for Disney, and it's also pushing people towards rides. So when Rise of the Resistance, Millennium Falcon, Slinky Dog, Toy Story Mania have wait times between 45 minutes and 3 hours, depending on the line, all those crowds, that's everybody in Hollywood Studios. Not literally, but that's the majority of the people there. Monstropolis, although I loved Muppet Vision 3D and I wish they move it somewhere else, and they still can, but Monstropolis and this new Walt Disney Animation Courtyard will take crowds from Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land, which just feel overcrowded with people, and start moving them out. And now, when I'm in Monstropolis, or even better, when I'm in Galaxy's Edge, a lot of these people will be in Monstropolis, and it'll balance out the weight of the park. I mean, if you look at it like it's a scale, the back left of Hollywood Studios be way down all the way, and the not middle, the front right by like Tower Terror would be up in the air, solely because everybody goes to Galaxy's Edge. Does that make sense, or do you follow? Like, do you know what I mean? I don't want to sound
I am.
crazy, but
No, I follow. Yeah.
everybody's there. Having these two spaces will help pan out the crowds to all over the park. So there's an even number of people around, and now it takes the wait times down, and puts the enjoyment up. More people are going to enjoy going to Hollywood Studios, to Star Wars, to Monsters Inc., to Toy Story, because there won't be as many people.
Would you say that the crowd level could also, I guess, be divided up from new people who still haven't gone to the parks and explored would begin to be able to go to Galaxy's Edge now that the older people who have been going year after year after year are now going to Monstropolis, or do you think people are still gonna, funnel in every single area, even though like one is older and one is newer?
Okay. Disney has been around since the 70s, right? 71, Magic Kingdom
Hmm.
opened. And the park changes often enough, but if you look at the timeline, it doesn't change super often, and people still of all the parks still flood each area. I think that it'll make it less stressful for newer people to go to Galaxy's Edge because a lot of the people from Galaxy's Edge will be in Monsters Inc. But
Hmm.
it won't stop the people who love going to Hollywood Studios for Star Wars and Toy Story. It won't stop them from going there, but it'll stop them from spending all day there. I found myself in Hollywood Studios wanting to spend a full day in Star Wars. I didn't, but that's what I wanted to do. And if I just wanted to waste my money at annual passes, that's something I would do. But now, like I said before, it will iron out. So the older people that have been going every day won't feel as pushed to go to Galaxy's Edge because there's more things. So yeah, I do think that it will pave the way for newer guests to experience Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land with less stress. I think the stress will be a big part of the whole these new openings in Hollywood studios.
For sure. And do you think, because I believe when I was there in Disney World in 2021 and 2022, every single time the restaurants were always like just booked. Like reservations for a restaurant there was just insane. And it might have been because I was going between, the anniversary of the 50th, um, and all that was to offer at the celebration that everyone wanted to go to. But they have the Prime Time Cafe, they have the drive-in theater cafe, they have um I know they have a bunch of other just, unique restaurants to, offer like Olga's Cantina, and they just got rid of the Rizzo's Pizzeria. uh, that used to be Pizza Planet, correct?
Yes.
Or maybe, yeah, so it was Pizza Planet and
Yes,
then
it
they
was Pizza
changed it to
Planet, turned
Rizzo's.
to Pizza Rizzo's. Yep.
Yeah, and then they also have the barbecue place that's now open in Toy Story Land. Do you think that's enough restaurants, especially with now the Monstropolis opening, and the animation courtyard that's gonna attract guests? And even I mean, we haven't even talked about this or touched it yet, but even the Muppets, Muppet Mayhem coaster coming that's taking over Rock and Roller Coaster right now.
Yes, yes.
Do you think that that's gonna be able to capture enough, audiences? But do you think that that will let me rephrase that. Do you think that that will be able to handle such large crowds that might be coming to explore all the new offerings, all those restaurants that they already have at the parks?
Okay. I'll start with the restaurants and I'll move on to that. So the restaurants, I personally I was there for the 50th, I was there for the 100th, and I was there last year. I was there. I okay, so I the only year I haven't gone and fully gone was 2022, but I was in Disney Springs in 2022 in hotels. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, I was there. I've booked restaurants almost instantly each time. I think the addition to any restaurant or the addition of anything will only help. The addition to of the new barbecue place, which Woody's Roundup Barbecue, and this is just advice for anybody of any one of your listeners. If you're going to Hollywood Studios, that restaurant over any other restaurant. That might have been the greatest barbecue ever, maybe, but that might be my favorite restaurant on property for dinner. It was beyond delicious and it was fun. I went late at night, so it was fairly empty and they still had the same amount of energy. Definitely go. But back to what I was saying. I booked Woody's Roundup with ease, and that was when it first opened, or not first opened, but fairly soon to it opening. It was maybe a year since it's opened. So yes, I think the addition to restaurants will help. Will only help. Again, I don't think anything will really hurt anybody or anybody's chances. But I think if you're going a month after Monstropolis opens, you'll have less of a chance to getting into a Monstropolis restaurant than you would to, let's say, the barbecue or a Galaxy's Edge. But on top of that, like, more towards the answer of your question, you will definitely be seeing an influx of people trying to get to the parks for a specific restaurant. That is definitely something that I believe. It might not be true, but I truly believe, going Disney all my life, at an opening of a restaurant will decide if somebody goes to Magic Kingdom over Hollywood Studios or Hollywood Studios over Animal Kingdom. That can be a deciding factor. So I think that's something that everybody should keep in mind when planning a trip. And then to go to your ride question, like anything else, people will more or less bum rush the Muppet Mayhem ride when it opens. I think that's, especially with the closure of Muppet Vision 3D. I think this Muppet Rock and Roller Coaster ride is going to attract more crowds than let's say even the Cars ride that's coming to Magic Kingdom. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, I think that's great. You just covered a lot. Now,
Yeah,
with
sorry, I go off.
no, you're good. This is good. Do you think that so I mean, the last thing I guess I want to cover in Hollywood Studios area then is all the new things we've touched on. Monstropolis coming, the Monsters Inc. land, which is gonna, offer a roller coaster that's like you're basically part of the door system. So it's gonna be like a door system roller coaster, as in the movie, as they ride the doors. Um, and then they're also gonna have, I believe, like a stage show, because I know that they aren't getting rid of the Muppets 3D theater, from what I've heard, at least, and what sources say. They're actually gonna
I've
just
heard the
retheme
same.
it. So we might actually see Mike's Laugh Floor being moved over there, but who knows? Um, that would be cool. That'd be a really cool thing for them to do, since it's already a theater and it's already a setup. They could, just easily transfer that over. But there's also a restaurant coming there, so it'll also add to it. But most likely going to be sushi, as we know Harryhausen's in the movie is covering that area.
Yes,
And then we
yes.
got Muppets Mayhem coming. I know there's a new villain stage show coming, and that's going to
It's
take over the
out.
place. It's out already. Okay, where is that located in the park?
Okay, so when you were there last, it was probably the Cars 3 show.
Hmm.
It's right behind Rock and Roller Coaster. It's in
Okay.
like a barely used, like you almost never see that thing used. But when the Cars show came out, now it's Villains. Spectacular show. I truly a mind blowing show. The music is phenomenal. Me and my girlfriend jam out to that. That is another show that you definitely have to drop everything to see, because that's a great show. So again, just putting it out there.
And then with the villain show, now we also have the animation courtyard coming, which is going to have a lot of similarities to, what I'll say is at Disneyland, and without like spoiling it, but from what you know already, they're going to
Thank
have
you.
at this one, um, a place that you can draw with actual animators. You can meet different Disney characters. Just a space that's really just centered about and tailored around, um, Disney animation. And I think it's really cool that they're taking the Walt Disney Animation Studios in Burbank, California design, and actually using that for the design of this building and of the main courtyard area. I feel like that will actually bring
Yes, yes,
an aspect of, like, hey, if you never get the chance to actually see the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank, here you go. You get to see, a concept of it, actually go inside and see. I think that's a great
yes.
way for them to advertise and also market themselves, and also just make it a unique experience for their guests coming. Do you think, though, this is my main question now that we've covered now what's coming, do you think the current construction at the Hollywood studios is driving guests away, or do you think that it could actually attract more people to now come knowing that maybe, guest levels might be down?
Simplest way to put this: construction, early closures, and anything of that sort will 9 times out of 10 push guests away. I chose just this past time. I was there in August twice. I went for a few weeks with my family, then I took my girlfriend. It was her Christmas present from 2024. And I chose, it was between Magic in Epcot or Hollywood Studios in Epcot. And I personally said no to Magic Kingdom. One, because of the Halloween party, the Not So Scary, and because of the construction going on. And at that point, a couple of the rides were down being fixed up, and just their yearly maintenance that they go over. But construction, like I said, construction and special events will always deter guests because they don't want to spend. They don't adjust the ticket prices fairly. They don't adjust them fairly to follow. Now I'm hoping with Josh Diamaro that might change. But people don't want to spend $170 to go to Magic Kingdom and only get to do 75% of the park. With
Right.
construction, with or 75% of the time that they would spend there, like you probably understand, deter guests away. Now, if you're an annual pass holder or you're right there in Florida and you always go, for you might say, okay, I'm going to go because nobody's there and I could just go again somewhere else tomorrow. If you're spending the money to go to buy individual tickets for a park, you're not going to spend the money when you can't get the full park or you can't get most of the park because Disney's always constructing something or editing something. So you're never going to get a 100% park, and some days rides are down. But when a lot of the park is under construction, if you're paying full price for a ticket, you're going to choose not to go. So I think this construction is deterring people from Hollywood studios, if anything. But at the same time, a lot of people are already just in Galaxy's Edge and in Toy Story Land to begin with. So there's not much deterring because the main attractions of the park are open.
You brought up a really good point with the new CEO, Josh Tomorrow, with saying, let's hope that prices, especially when construction's happening, might lower even more than, what they are giving. Because I know for Disney Plus perks, you can get for 3 days only, but only at Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom, $110 a day tickets. And I
Yes.
know that there's a deal going on too for throughout this year that you can get up to 3 days free, nights and parks
Yes.
when you stay at a Disney resort for a certain amount of time. But now that I've mentioned all those deals that they do have, that doesn't factor in, if you want to stay on property, the cost that's going to, cost you, to food and dining, to, merchandise you want to buy, and then just ticket prices as well. Like, let's say you want to add Magic Kingdom onto that, you're adding another. For me, it was $195 for a ticket to Magic Kingdom, uh, for the first week of March,
Yep.
and personally, I wouldn't spend that price if I knew I was just going, if I was gonna go for multiple days. But since I am only going for 1 day, I'd say I'd consider it fairly reasonable because I wanna go. I feel like that's just the
Yes.
mindset you have to have as a Disney fan. You're gonna spend money. You're gonna empty your
Oh,
wallet in
definitely.
some sense. Because the Disney just does a really good job with marketing and selling their stuff. I was talking to my friend who's a really big Universal guy, and that's the guy I'm going to Universal with, and Disney with. But he's like, it's hard to go to Disney when their prices, even for their quote unquote value hotels, go for over $800 a night. and that's
It's
basically
ridiculous.
every single time. Even if you want to plan a trip within a year, you're not going to be able to get it much lower than that. Whereas at a Universal hotel, this isn't me advertising Universal or Disney. This is just me saying like this is what we did because we still want to go to Disney and be there. But for $196 a night, compare no, yeah, 100. I think it was 196. Yeah, maybe even lower, 160 a night at one of the Universal value hotels to still get all the perks that you'd get if you stayed, at one of their like bigger, more exclusive deluxe hotels.
Yes,
Like that's an insane deal. But you're
one
looking at
hundred
maybe
percent. And
1,000 a night for Grand Floridian if you want to stay there. Even the Contemporary can get up that to even higher than that sometimes.
oh,
So,
100%. And now, personally, without, I would love to do an episode on resorts with you one day if you'd be down.
oh yes,
That's one of my
oh yes,
favorites. That I'd want to do work at a Disney resort, but I'd love to. But look at the All Star, right? Cheapest hotels, which are still almost $200 a night. Don't get me wrong, but cheapest hotels. Those hotels have more theming, Disney theming, than hotels like the Grand Floridian, the Polynesian, the Contemporary. And my all-time favorite hotel, one that I stayed at, and two just is the Polynesian. So this is in no way me shaming on Polynesian. I've stayed at the Polynesian. I've stayed at the Grand Floridian. I haven't stayed at the Contemporary, but that's on the list. But I've stayed at both of those hotels, and they were phenomenal stays. I loved every second of my time at both of those hotels. But when I'm getting the All Star hotels for $900 cheaper, $800 cheaper, and I feel like I'm in a Disney hotel, other than just knowing that I'm at a Disney hotel, I would choose the cheaper hotels without a doubt. You get the same amount of service. One thing Disney is fantastic at is the service of the hotels. I mean, how high end you're staying, you feel like you're staying in luxury. The guests are what changed that, but again, not going too deep into it. I'll save it for the hotels episode. But I 100% agree. You're spending so much money on hotels unless you factor in a hotel day like I do, and a lot of big Disney people do, you're not getting your money's worth of your hotel stay. So you should, I agree. Say in a Universal hotel, which might be cheap, especially if you're going to Universal. I'll do you one better. Stay off property. You if you even if you don't drive down, you rent a car. It still will be cheaper than staying on property. And I know beautiful hotels right around the area of Kissimmee and Winter Garden. I'm I'm a travel agent. Shameless plug. I am a way to tomorrow travel agent. I built that myself. I love doing it. But you have these hotels around that are cheaper and just as nice, and they're 5 minutes from Disney, and you're not paying $800 a night or even $200 a night. So again, just thoughts that I have on it.
no, I think that brings a lot of just perspective. I think it can, even though we're not covering the Disney resorts like hotels, I think that gives us a good idea as to, maybe what to expect as, maybe they want to have further information on that. But like you said, let's cover that in the next episode as we explore,
Yeah.
because honestly, I probably will have you back on for that because, again, you know more about those resorts than I do. So definitely come back for either episode 8 or episode 9. We'll see. Maybe episode 10.
I
Who
would love
knows?
to.
But we'll
I would
see.
love to.
Who
Whenever
knows?
you just give me that call, you give me that
Great.
call, I'm
Let's do it.
there.
And now let's jump on over to Animal Kingdom. Kind of
Animal
get,
Kingdom, fun, fun.
the parks out of the way that, might be considered. I don't want to say less iconic because every single park is iconic. But those 2, I feel like, are the ones that people will drop out of if they're only gonna go for 2 days because the majority of people wanna see
Yes,
Epcot and then they wanna see Magic Kingdom. And so
I agree.
let's dive into Animal Kingdom. Let's dive in. Okay, so, I mean, I think for my first, like, walkthrough when I was walking into the park, it's like I was entering a national park, entering into just a
Yeah.
zoo or like a forest preserve, and all of a sudden you kinda get immersed into this idea of like, oh, you're in a Disney property, and
Yeah.
you see that through the theming, you see that through the lighting, like, even the, like, lanterns as you walk by, you're like, "Whoa, these look like they could have been taken straight out of Tinker Bell," or, um,
Yes.
any, like, Disney classic film, and then you walk in, and the first thing you see is the Tree of Life across the water, and, like, literally, it hits you right there. You're in Animal Kingdom, you're not in any other park, you're not even in, like, a zoo, like, you're in Disney's Animal Kingdom, and
Yep.
whoever created this park, I wanna say, like, did an amazing job just theming. Like, you look at the designs, and the layout of the Tree of Life, and bro, you're just blown away. You just see all the animals, you see all the, like, wildlife, all the just artwork on it. It's amazing. And you see across the water, you just feel like you're in, like, this nature reserve that's just been Disneyfied. Because if you've ever been on
Uh,
like, I know you're going
yeah.
on Disney cruise, right? Have you been
Yes.
on one
First
before
time.
this one? This is your first
This will
time.
be the
Are you
first
guys
cruise.
going to
I can't
Castaway
wait.
Cay?
We are. She loves it. Yep. We'll stop at both Castaway Cay and Lookout Key.
Okay. That's one
They're
thing
new.
about Castaway Cay. Oh, I didn't even know about Lookout Key. Okay. Have to look into that.
Yeah, look it up. It's cool.
And it's like, is it right next to them? Like Bahamas still? Or
It's in that general vicinity. Yeah.
oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited to look into it. But Castaway Cay, you go into the island and it's like Disneyfied. And you're just like, what is this, bro? It like that was like just thoughts I had as walking back into Animal Kingdom. And I mean, I'll let you take it away from here. Like, what is your favorite aspect of Animal Kingdom? What ride do you go to first? What are you excited about the, coming changes? Yeah.
I will start with a controversial take, but I think a pretty fair one. That Animal Kingdom is the most visually stunning Disney park. All of them are just, oh my gosh, like how is this done? But the minuscule details, like you said, on the tree, each of the animals carved out on the tree. I can't think of the exact number of animals on the tree, but that Pandora, the world of Avatar, probably the coolest land
Oh, it's beautiful. It is so
factually,
beautiful.
not not my favorite, but factually the coolest land on Disney property. It's Everest. Everest across the water, especially with the sunset backdrop. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous park. And it used to be my favorite park when I was very young. Animal Kingdom was my favorite park. Fully, I don't know what I was thinking. 'Cause Animal Kingdom does not compare to the other three for me, but no means is that because it's bad or because it's not fun. There's just a lot more to do in other parks, and this one closes early. This one closes at 6 o'clock because of the animals, right? I'm almost certain it's 6 o'clock. Yeah, 6 o'clock because of the animals. They don't do fireworks. Seven between 6 and 8, 6 and 8, depending on the day. But still, you have this park. You don't have a lot in it. Every time I've done Animal Kingdom, the last few trips, I've been done with Animal Kingdom. I go for either rope drop, which I tend to rope drop, or near rope drop, and I'm done with it by at least 2 in the afternoon. So you could get through the park quick. I love the park, but it's there's not a lot. Truly, there's just not a lot. So it's a skippable park. Shouldn't skip it because there's still so much to do. The safari is the coolest ride there. I mean, the best ride is Pandora's The Flight of Passage, but I mean, getting
Come
to
on.
see all the animals on the safari, it's all just it's a fantastic park. And you know me, and same thing with Hollywood Studios. Not enough people do the Indiana Jones stuff. I mean, the stunt show isn't the greatest show at Hollywood Studios, but it's a good show. But Animal Kingdom is getting I miss Dino. I love Dinosaur. I used to be scared of it as a child. I was afraid of Dinosaur, yes. But once I started watching Jurassic Park back during COVID, before that I liked it, but really just I knew every dinosaur on that ride, and I love that ride. But change is okay, and I've learned change is okay, especially when it comes to Disney. And it's Indiana Jones. I can't wait. I've seen Encanto. Every time I try, I can't get through. I will get through before I go to the park and see the upgrades, but I can't get through Encanto. But I'm very intrigued on what this new land is going to look like and how clearly it's going to be different from Dino Land. But I want to see if I can put together. Oh, obviously, Dinosaur will be easy. They're keeping the same track and just changing the design. But I want to see if I'll be able to pinpoint like the highlights of Dino Land new in this new themed land, the South American themed land. So I'm excited. Again, it's a lot of fun. I do love the park. Mount Everest is the go-to ride there. Personally, you're never going to get an extremely long wait time, and you're not gonna, it's not a fast ride. It goes by quick, but it's not super quick. So it's worth the wait. My only suggestion, really, for anybody going to Animal Kingdom and going to any parks, but Animal Kingdom in particular, ponchos. Have like 3 or 4 ponchos ready because if it rains in Animal Kingdom, it rains. Like it's a lot. So definitely ponchos, but that's a little off track. But Animal Kingdom overall, great park. Although it's skippable, I don't think people should skip that part.
I think you bring up a great point with bringing up the skippable part. Now, what's really nice is park hoppers. And I mean, even if
Yep.
if you're planning to do like 2 parks already, sometimes the park hopper, especially for Disney World at least, if you do Animal Kingdom and then go straight to Epcot, boom, like that is just the smart move. You can enjoy like everything there is at Animal Kingdom during the day, get on all the rides before the like during like the beginning of the park morning hours, and then hop over to Epcot and just enjoy the scenery, enjoy the evening show, and enjoy just what they have in the area. Or you could even just go to Hollywood Studios and then just add on another full day at either one of those parks. I know for my family, we did that. We did 2 days in Magic Kingdom, park hopper for Animal Kingdom to Epcot, and then we did a full day at Epcot and then a full day at Hollywood Studios. And it changed it for us because we were able to get everything that we wanted to do done. Made it easier for us to like, not feel like we're skipping or missing out on anything. Because when we go to the parks, even if like Disney World isn't our home park, we strategize everything so that we can get on the most like rides. And at Animal Kingdom, let me just say, if you rope drop Flight of Passage, you're going to be set for the rest of the day because that is the one ride I will say that gets up over like 120 minutes almost every single day. And then you got Everest and um, I wouldn't say I feel like the Navi boat ride does get up, but not as much anymore. Really, you just go on
Depends
that
on
to
that.
see the crazy. Yeah, you just see it for the animatronic. But most of the
Yes.
time, we skip the boat ride just because of the fact that it's very lackluster, I'll say. It's really cool because it immerses you in the world of Pandora. You literally feel like you're there, as you do in the land. But I have to say it is not my like top go-to. If anything, I'm gonna go to that Flight of Passage ride. So, but I think you really just covered a majority of Animal Kingdom, like from the way that they take care of the animals for the animal safari. It's cool to watch all the documentaries that they have on Disney, because a lot of them are actually filmed in the Animal Kingdom park and then outside in the reserves, like out in the world from Africa to Madagascar to
Yes.
Asia, covering all those lands. But they like to throw in little highlights and cameos of their own animals that they have names of as they take care
Yes.
of them. So it's a great thing to have. It always gets a bunch of people coming by. And then my favorite thing to do on Everest, all right, because if you're going up the big hill, you look to your left, I believe you can see Tower of Terror, like to your left, and then
Ooh.
behind Tower of Terror, you can see
Yes.
Epcot. and then you can also see the Swan and Dolphin hotels. That's probably the coolest thing because you're so immersed in Animal Kingdom and they do so good at hiding everything. As soon as you get high up in the air, and like you literally have to be high up to be able to see them, but you can point out easily then once you get all the way up there. Um, the Tower of Terror in Epcot, I feel like that's just the coolest thing to look over and be like, "Oh, look at that. Look at the towers, look at the icons," you know. Iconic stuff
You
there.
should
So,
not you should not go on Mount Everest without asking to sit first row for that sole purpose ever. Like that is the main reason to go on Mount Everest because when you and I'll do you one better. I don't know about you, but when I go on it, I see the I can't think of the actual term for it, but the hot air balloon in downtown Disney. You see top of Pandora, which is the same park, but it's just by scale, you actually see how tall it is. Your the Tower of Terror, you see some of Galaxy's Edge. It's insane. First row is a must at least one time on Mount Everest, just so you could look around and see everything. You are so high up; it is so cool to see it all.
exactly. And now with the upcoming areas, because Dinosaur, literally like a week ago, just closed for good permanently. Goodbye, Dinosaur. That was a sad one.
Rest in
I feel
peace.
like it was
That
just an
was a sad one.
iconic ride that you just would
It
never have
was.
expected to be in the parks. And that's
Yeah,
something that was really cool about what Disney did with the parks in the beginning. And like I'm gonna go on a tangent here, but
please do.
I think keeping limited IP to character meet and greets and fireworks shows as a limit of their IP of famous movies and TV shows as a limit. I think that's what really captured audiences with Disney World, but now they're putting a bunch of their IP in it, which is like again, I have nothing against it. It's awesome. We got to see what they did with Galaxy's Edge. We've seen what they did with Avengers
Yeah,
Campus. At least I have. We've seen what they did with
lucky.
Pandora, with Avatar. We've seen what they did with the Tangled bathroom area. um, but it's those little things that like they've done really good at capturing. But what they forget is you're also catering to an audience who is also grown up with the Disney IP, that they want to see something new, something original because of all the sequels
Yes.
now. And with them revamping everything that was original, it takes away that essence of this is Disney World. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna see your favorite stuff here, but you're also gonna see stuff that you've never experienced before, and it's just gonna stick in your mind for the rest of your life. Like the Soarin' music, or um, even like Mount Everest, like the ride Mount Everest, Expedition Everest,
Yeah.
Kilimanjaro Safari, like all of these very iconic, unique rides.
And you'll always remember things that are gone. And it's a lot easier now because there's video of them and you could watch them without a problem. But I still have a vivid memory of when Disney World had Mickey and Minnie's Toontown. And I was explaining it to my girlfriend a few weeks ago, and I pulled up a video. I wasn't 100% on the money. I was very young when Toontown was still there, but I was able to watch video and remember things about it. So Disney has a great way of, even when things are gone for a long time, you'll have some sort of memory of them.
That's so true. That is really good. Yeah. Um, Plus for me being celiac, gluten free, I can eat
Yeah.
their gluten-free churros that are literally only served at Animal Kingdom, or I have to go
Yeah.
to the Coronado Springs Resort. Those are the only 2
Yes.
places I have them.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
if you're gluten-free and you want churros, Animal Kingdom might be worth the stop. But
I
that's another.
Churros are always worth the stop.
Oh,
So,
for sure,
but
100%, 100%.
if you don't want to spend $160 to get into the park, yeah, Coronado Springs will work too.
That'll work too, just go a
Beautiful
little bit out of
hotel,
your way.
but
I mean,
it's
they
a
have the
little out of the way.
complimentary bus service that you can take, so easy 15-minute ride there and back.
Yes.
And
Another hotel that I love, but I won't go into it.
We'll talk about it on the resort episode.
Yes,
It'll be
yes, yes.
exciting for that.
Uh,
So they have a lot of good restaurants, I believe, in Animal Kingdom. A lot of variety, from barbecue to I think it's like a Rafiki themed restaurant, right? I can't remember. I feel like it's a Rafiki. Like the name is Rafiki's something. I can't remember.
it's
Um,
it's
um,
titled something along the lines of that, but it's more of a quick service area. It's a like a window.
okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, okay. This is like I'm gonna be so biased here because this is my favorite restaurant and I eat there every single time I go to Animal Kingdom now. It's the Pandora World. Um, ooh, I can't remember what it's called. It's like a Kylene um market or something. It's a
Yeah,
Pandora Navi word describing, the food that they have. But it's like these Mediterranean bowls with rice and beef. And then they put like
yes,
sour popping boba balls on top. Oh, it's my favorite
yeah.
thing. I get it every single time, and like sometimes I'll have it twice if that's my meal for the day. It is just that good. So, definitely stop over there. I really love I believe it's like a moonberry. I feel like it's called the moonberry drink. Um, but it's like a pear juice and I'd say blue raspberry kind of flavor. It's one of their like specialty beverages that they make. Oh my gosh, it has the popping boba inside as well. So good. I definitely recommend that as well. Um, but
I'm
yeah, that's
I'm I'm probably going to disappoint you right now, so I'm sorry.
oh
Um,
no.
I don't like the uh, Pandora restaurant. Been there once
No.
when it first opened, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good by any means. Um, like I said, yeah, I wasn't too pleased with it. The
Hmm.
cow buns are a disappointment. I didn't know about that Mediterranean bowl, or if I have, I didn't get it. But but I will try it again next time I go. But I
I'll send
tend
you the
to
information and I'll help you
please
find
do.
what I got. Yes.
I tend to another restaurant in Animal Kingdom has my heart. Truly, it's a Fey style named Tusker House that serves the best breakfast. Now, Disney breakfast is very standard. I mean, place you get Disney breakfast, it's all the same. Mickey waffles. Animal Kingdom does Simba waffles as well, so that's the plus. Simba and Nala. But Mickey waffles, Simba waffles, standard bacon, sausage, eggs, um, ham, like the very standard breakfast stuff. But Tusker House has my heart. They have what they call pog juice or jungle juice, depending on server you get. But pog juice is it, and it's a blend of passion fruit, orange, and guava juice, and it is the greatest thing ever to exist. Truthfully, they sell the same type of juice at Kona Cafe, the Lilikoi juice. I think I'm saying that right. That's sold at Ohana, Boma, Cape May Cafe, a couple different places. But Kona Cafe is my favorite breakfast place on all of Disney property. Tusker House serves this juice, and Tusker House it's a character buffet, and it is just delicious. I don't know about their gluten-free options because I normally don't check, but if you find yourself looking for breakfast, Tusker House is the place to go in Animal Kingdom. Now, Tusker House is the restaurant to go to in Animal Kingdom, but I've just only been for breakfast.
All right, I'll take your word for it and I'll have to try it. Uh
You
Something
will.
that's really cool is there are actually two entrances and exits to Animal Kingdom. And you know what I'm talking about, the Rainforest Cafe. The Rainforest Cafe that is literally right at the entrance. So if you're not even gonna go to Animal Kingdom and you just want to go to a Rainforest Cafe that's right by like a wilderness area, you got the Rainforest Cafe that's literally right next to the entrance of the
Yes.
Animal Kingdom Park. But there's also the
Yeah,
one in
it's right
Disney
there.
Springs. So it really just depends on what your preference is. But you can also enter into the Animal Kingdom park from the anim or the Rainforest Cafe entrance that they have through the store, which is a nice touch.
Yes.
You can also exit that way too. But I also believe that you can't get into the Rainforest Cafe until it opens too, right? And I
Yes.
believe it opens around, I think it's open for breakfast around 9 or 10, but I don't think it opens at the same time that the parks do.
No. So Animal Kingdom opens around 8. It's 8 every day. Actually, I'm looking at the hours right here just to make sure. 8 a.m. every day, and Rainforest Cafe opens between 9 and 10, depending on the days. So yes, you can get in. No, you can't get in if it's not open, just like you said.
Hmm. So that's the fun little secret there. And now I want to kind of cover what they're doing with the new lands. Okay, so this has been on my mind for a bit, and I feel like this is a good spot to talk about it. As we've gone through half the parks, and we can still talk about and focus on Animal Kingdom for now. But they just opened the Zootopia Better Zoo Gather show that took over the Bugs Life um, show that they had there. And it's tough to be a bug. That show, great one that they
Yes,
no longer that doesn't exist anywhere anymore. It's literally permanently closed. If you're wanting to see it, that sucks for you because it's no longer there. Rip.
and it's
Um,
it's hard to see online because it's 3D,
right.
so you're not getting a fully authentic viewing of it solely because unless you have 3D glasses at your house, it doesn't work.
And it's just it's brutal. So that was a really rough and hard one to let go of. But they opened up
What?
the new Better Together show, and this is what I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna actually take a minute and go over to the Colombia, um, South America area that's now coming to Animal Kingdom. Let me just say this: the park is called Animal Kingdom, right? It's Animal Kingdom. It's focused
Yes.
on nature, wildlife. We got a little bit of like fantasy because of that little hidden dragon that's on the logo, and then the
Yes.
dinosaurs that were also on the logo. So are they going to change the logo? Who knows? But this is what I'm getting at. They're putting the Columbia, Southern America, with the Indiana Jones Temple of the Forbidden Eye in the same area, which I mean, I guess historically, yes, that is correct. They are there because they're both from the same area. But in my own personal opinion, it would have been a huge, like, just a smart move for them to actually put this Columbia area and the Encanto to like house at Epcot in the World Showcase area as a new themed area that you could go to. Now, that's my own
Hmm.
personal thing. And then they put the Indiana Jones ride behind or near the stunt show spectacular so that you get more than one dose of Indiana Jones in this area because you go to Animal Kingdom and you're like, "Oh, Indiana Jones. Okay, now I want more Indiana Jones." Oh, wait, that's the only Indiana Jones I get. And then you go to Hollywood Studios, you're like, "Oh, I'm watching the stunt show." No, what else is Indiana Jones? Because I'm on an Indiana Jones high. It's like the same thing with Star Wars. You go to Star Tours and you're like, oh wait, now I can go actually go to Galaxy's Edge because I just read Star Tours, saw all my favorite Star Wars stuff, and now I can just walk through that area. See, what that does is it brings immersion. And of course, there's always a reason why they do it. It was easier for them to do that for Dinosaur because it had the same track system as the Indiana Jones Temple of the Forbidden Eye at Disneyland. And so there is the minor like, okay, it makes sense that this is there, but does it theming wise?
Yes. And I'll second that. I think I am a firm believer that if you are making an attraction on a movie, you should be putting that in Hollywood studios. Without a doubt, no matter what it is, Pandora. I love Pandora, the land. That should have been in Hollywood studios. I love this new Columbia. I even think about Epcot, but I think they should do the same thing, but instead of Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, because now you're doing it's Colombia technically, South America technically. It's just an Encanto Indiana Jones land. It's an adventure land of more Disney theming than just Adventureland in Magic Kingdom. So if you're making a land based on a movie, your land should be in Hollywood Studios. Now I am a firm believer on. I think I might have said ride based on, but land based on movie should go in Hollywood Studios because that's the point of Hollywood Studios. You're bringing movies together. Now, I also believe Hollywood Studios should keep Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, and like show love and appreciation to old Hollywood.
Mhm.
But Hollywood Studios is turning into a movie-based movie-based park, right? I mean, that's just what it is, whether you like it or not. So when you're getting something like Pandora, which we have, but you're getting something like Indiana Jones and Encanto, that should be in Hollywood Studios. Truthfully, same with Cars Land. Now I understand. I know I'm I'm thinking, but I understand that Hollywood Studios is not that big to just keep on having land. So I understand something like Piston Peak actually going to share some of Frontierland. Like I understand stuff like that. And I understand this Indiana Jones area going to Animal Kingdom. Like you said, Indiana Jones has a show in Hollywood Studios, and there's room to make an Indiana Jones land. So I agree, I would work my way around. But I would also put, like you said, Encanto in Epcot because that fits with what they're doing. But I'm just a fan. I'm not the CEO, so I really can't make those decisions. But dinosaurs fit Animal Kingdom because dinosaurs are. That's just that's it. Indiana Jones and Mirabelle, not animals. And yes, you can argue that the Avatar, the Na'vi are creatures and animals, so that fits more. Fine, 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 whatever. But Indiana Jones and Mirabelle are not animals. Just my view on it.
Correct.
So I'm
Exactly.
very excited for the land. Yes, don't get me wrong. Do I agree 100% with their decision? No, but again, I'm excited to see what comes of it.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to leave a like, press that bell icon, subscribe, and then share this to a friend who you think would enjoy these kind of discussions. Thank you for being here. There's still so much more information to dive into while exploring the facts, the history, and the magic of Disney. Until next time, let's keep moving forward into the great and beautiful tomorrow.
with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world. Thank you.